everyone. Welcome to this day on this beautiful Friday, June 15th. Oh, it's nice out today. I'll tell you about the weather in just a moment. On our show today, Juanita Skillman stopped by. In fact, she sat down with Lisa yesterday and pre-taped a segment. You know, United had their board meeting this week, and she discussed some of the resolutions at the board meeting. Got a lot of unfinished ones for alterations and then a few new ones as well, and they talked about that. Sterling Financial Advisors, Dan Oweiler is going to be here and kind of go over some statistics when it comes to Social Security. I heard somewhere online, I'll have to ask him this, that they might be changing the name to like benefits, government benefit payout or something like that. I'll ask him. Maybe, I don't know if that's true or not. You can't believe everything you read online. And from the California Protons Cancer Therapy Center, which is down there in San Diego, we have Dr. Chang here. He's going to talk about this really exciting technique to pinpoint cancer and attack it right at its source. So great to have him on. Now, as far as meetings, there are no meetings today, not until next week. So let's get to the beautiful weather. I say beautiful because, well, we've had some nice weather. Quite warm over the last few days. This is sort of the transition day. We're going to start to cool down. And you probably saw last night a lot more fog coming in. A little bit thicker marine layer today, but you notice that drop in temperature. So I have about 76 today. Now, to be honest, I've looked at two or three different sources today, and they're all around that mark for this area. I still think we're going to get, because this stuff is burning off a little bit quicker today, so I'm thinking that maybe we'll be a little bit warmer than that. But I know going forward, we're going to see a drop in temperatures, and actually not in this area, but we're going to start to feel a little bit more humidity. But up in the mountains and high deserts, you'll start to see those big thunderheads over there. They're expecting possible thunderstorms. You might have noticed that yesterday. Looking out eastward, there were some of those big thunderheads out there, though they didn't really form into thunderheads. They had the start of it. But that could happen today and tomorrow. And as we make our way over this weekend, there might be some of that humidity. That's because of the remnants of the hurricane that was off the coast of Mexico. It's now bringing rain up through Baja California and really into Arizona and that area. This is kind of their monsoon season, and happens every year. They start to get rains in there in New Mexico and those areas. It brings moisture and humidity to us. Now, let's look around the state this weekend. Things are much cooler compared to last weekend. In fact, a lot cooler. I think everything's down, I want to say 10 to 15 degrees compared to last weekend, which is kind of nice. North Coast, 69 degrees. In the Bay Area, they're average around the peninsula, 70. Central Coast at San Luis Obispo area, about 70, and Cambria, San Diego, 72 as well. Both in Tahoe and Yosemite have dropped compared to last weekend by about 10 degrees, but still very nice up there, pleasant, especially 73 degrees if you're up in Yosemite. To me, that's kind of what you want if you're hiking around there. Arrowhead, 68, and Palm Springs, wow, they've dropped. You know, they were 110 just a few days ago, or actually higher than that. I think they went to 100, 112, and now we're looking at 95 for the weekend, so a big drop out there as well. Okay, we'll be back in just a moment. Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Through my window, I see the first sunlight. And I feel the warm ocean breeze. I see the waves that lulled me all night. That's what my window brings me.
Look at this.
That view is $1 million.
It's amazing we can look at these kinds of places within our budget.
You don't have a bad view from here anywhere you look.
It's all about the view. Sunday night is beach night. Sunday night at 8, only on HGTV.
Welcome back. We have Juanita Skillman here, who's the board president for United, and she's got some great information about the new handyman project, as well as some other things going on. Well, welcome.
Thank you very much.
I was so excited to hear about this handyman project.
We've been working on this for 6 months and we finally got it passed, and I've mentioned before, but it's up and running now.
Oh,
so
great.
anybody can come in and get the brochure.
Okay.
And we have frequently asked questions and how to enroll. So there's all kinds of flyers down there. But at our Tuesday meeting, I was very proud to introduce Vince Martinez, who is our handyman.
Right.
Now, we may have a second guy in the wings in case we get lots more and he can't do it all, but he's doing a great job right now.
Okay.
As of the 7th of June, we have 51 people signed up for the handyman program, and they're coming in every day. And we also have, in the first week, because it's only been going for a week, Vince handled 24 service calls.
Wow.
And what he did were things like turning a mattress, assembling patio furniture, electrical repair on an alteration edition. The Mutual does the standard editions, but anything that's an alteration, he can help. He installed shelving and weather stripping, and an alteration faucet and a shower head replacement. So those are all some of the kinds of things that Vince can do. He's got a great background. He's been with the village for 7 years, started out in landscape and then moved over to maintenance. He has experience in all kinds of home remodeling things. So we're just very proud to welcome Vince to our United part of the family, and he's doing a great job for us. So
That's great.
We appreciate that.
Now, where can they get this information, the brochures?
They're in the clubhouses.
Okay.
And they're down at Resident Services, and Resident Services is where they have to go to sign their service agreement and give them their $200 check.
Oh, okay, great. Great. Thank you. That's great. Oh, what a nice thing to have, especially if you don't have anyone to help you around the house.
Well, that's it. I don't have anybody to give my honeydews to anymore, so
We're just giving them to Vince.
Right. So I just write them down, pack them up, and I give them to Vince.
Excellent.
So we did have our board meeting on Tuesday, and there were a number of things that really affected residents that I'd like to just recap a little bit about. During not just the handyman, but during my chair's remarks, I had our attorney, Jeff Beaumont, go over some of the legislation. As you know, we're down to the wire the month of June in the Assembly in Sacramento, and things that don't get passed and up to the governor's desk, et cetera, have to wait another year. So we're really pushing on a couple of them. The one that we really hope goes through, it's on the Assembly floor, it's gone through all the committees and the Senate, et cetera, is 1128, and that's one that we sponsored that basically said, number one, we could have elections by acclamation. So when we only have 4 candidates for 4 seats, we don't have to spend $40,000 to do a sealed bid voting with all of them. It also has in there that we would only require a 28-day member comment period instead of the 30 that they have now. We have so many months, this is one of them, where there's only 29 days between our meetings, and then it has to go 2 meetings, and it just drags it on, and it will be a really good thing. And then last but not least in that bill, there's a waiver that people are going to be able to opt in to receive the sheets and sheets of paperwork that we send out now electronically.
Oh, that would be
a lot
great.
of people still want the paper, and that's fine. We will send it all out in paper if that's the desire. But for those who are more technology focused, you're going to be able to get it all electronically.
That's great.
So that's going to be a really good thing. Now there's one legislative piece that we are definitely against, and we encourage any of our residents to notify their legislators, please vote against this, and that's Senate Bill 721. And that was designed not for big communities like we have, but for the very small ones. And it was kind of, the impetus of it was the few years ago when there was a balcony in Oakland that collapsed and people were hurt.
Yeah.
So they've got this bill that says every balcony has to be not just inspected, taken apart, put back together by a structural engineer. With all of the balconies that we have in this community, it is a significant cost. We're figuring it's going to be about $1.5 million a year.
Oh, boy.
For every year, just for 6 years, and then you start all over again. So we really are hoping that that one won't pass.
Yeah.
Our consent calendar, we had 2 Architectural Control Standards Committee recommendations for approvals of alterations, and then we had 1 Finance Committee recommendation for a lien for someone who has not been paying their assessments. Now, talking about monetary assessments, this came up in our disciplinary hearings, and a lot of people, we have lots of rules, and we don't always have good consequences. What happens if you don't do it? And so people ignore them. And one of those has come about with our golf carts. We had a number of people who have not paid their golf cart fee for 3 to 4 years, and therefore they were brought to the disciplinary hearing. We made a recommendation. We told staff, if you have a golf cart that you have not paid your fee for a number of years, even 1 year in arrears, they're going to come and take your sticker off. And when you apply for your new sticker, they're going to say you have to pay your fee and get in compliance, or you're not going to get your sticker, especially with all the new stickers that we're putting out on them. So it's really important. If you thought we just didn't notice, yes, we did. And consequences are coming for that.
Okay.
Under unfinished business, everything that we do by resolution has a first reading under our new business, and then the 30 or 60-day waiting period for everybody to give their comments back, or for directors to ask for more information, that kind of thing. And then it goes to new business, I mean to unfinished business, that's under new business, and then unfinished business when the notification has been satisfied, and that's when we actually vote on it. And this time we had 6 alteration standard updates. We, as a mutual, own all the property, and therefore it is our responsibility to make sure that whatever is done in those units, when people update them or do anything to them, are to our standards. So, because it's our property.
Right.
So we've been updating all of the alteration standards, and it's twofold. Number 1, to make sure everything is done correctly, but number 2, as a benefit to our residents. We are trying to cut down by having standards that staff can approve, the ones that have to go to the have a variation and go to the standards committee and then to the full board, and it just takes so much more time. So we're trying to tighten that up, and we've had a few on every one. We're going to have some more on the next month, but we did have 6 this time. We also passed the resolution on interior inspection of unoccupied units. I gave some figures the last time I was on about how many unoccupied units we had and how long. The average was 3 years and 3 months. And again, as owners of the property, we have to make sure that an unoccupied unit doesn't have vermin or insects or water leakage or anything like that. So every 6 months, if it's an unoccupied, we will go in and double check it just to make sure that everything is okay. And then the other one was the resale correction policy, because the current policy was very much in the favor of the seller and not the buyer. And so at the time of escrow, they could put off needed repairs for up to 18 months.
Oh, goodness.
And we ended up being a bank because we were holding the money from escrow for those if they did it. Now we've tightened that up, and we've said escrow won't close until the needed recommendations for things that needed to be fixed were done. And that way, when the new buyer moves in, they're not saddled with things that have to be done. And when they buy the unit, it's the way it should be. So that all worked.
Good.
Under new business, these are the things that we are putting forth for August now because we only had 29 days. But we had first reading on 2 alteration updates. We had one on dumpsters, only it's not really the dumpsters that we use for our trash. It's the ones that contractors bring in when they're doing a remodel just for their debris and stuff, so that we had no policy on where it could be or what the restrictions are or how they had to get permission and that kind of thing. So that's what this is going to update. And then we also had the Governing Docs Committee has been working for the last 6 months on updating our resale documents because we found there was a lot of duplication and we were trying to put it in as concise a manner as possible. There's still a lot of forms, but instead of having 3 forms, we would put the 3 things checklist on one form if they related to each other. So those are all on our website. People can go in and look and see what they've got. And I might mention that I and our treasurer, Gary Morrison, and one of our directors, Carl Randosa, have all opted for a new email with, it's at Laguna Woods Village email. And anybody can email us that because some of them have our personal emails and some of them don't. And we want to make sure that when they want to comment on anything, that they can get there easily. So we encourage you to use those to get in touch with us. That's about it. We have lots coming up in our future meeting agenda, but basically it's second reading of almost everything. We had highlights of our committees and of our GRF committees. Now, our meeting went 4 hours long, and that's too long. We know it's too long. We do everything we can. We put in some new Robert's Rules of Order on debate to limit it, to try to cut down. But what we found is that the biggest time user waster is the reading of the resolutions, which can be 2 and 3 pages long. And our poor secretary practically goes hoarse reading resolution after resolution after resolution. So we have asked staff to try to make them more concise. We want to know, this is what it's about. Now therefore be it resolved, this is what we're going to do, and that's it. And all of the backup material are included in the packet as backup material. They're on site if people want more information, or they can call, they can come see us, whatever, to get more information. But to take up all of that time in a board meeting, people who are watching it on Channel 6 after 2 or 3 hours say, you can't do that any longer.
Right, or even your audience might be dwindling
That's right.
too,
By the end of the meeting, we don't have anybody in the audience anymore. So we're really working to try to make those shorter and concise, but at the same time, make sure that we are not sacrificing communication and transparency, that all of our residents still know what we're doing and why we're doing, and then they can get more information. But I think that hopefully redoing our resolutions will help to do that. We'll see you next month.
All right, that's great. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
And you know, we have Joan
always.
Milliman on and we go over all the Robert's Rules stuff, and it's just
Right.
amazing how it just applies so much.
Yeah, oh, it does.
Yeah.
Now, I'm a 37-year Toastmaster.
Oh, wow.
And
so you know.
we do a lot of Robert's Rules in Toastmasters. And I've taken a lot of parliamentary procedure classes and run meetings as officers, et cetera, through them. And so I know how important it is. But I have a wonderful little book that Joan gave me.
Yes, she's got the books.
Robert's Rules in plain language.
Yeah.
Instead of the big heavy part.
Right.
So that's what I read from at this meeting, and that's what we're going to try to do, just to make it simple, not just for our board, but for the people that are watching. these are the Roberts rules, and these are what we're following.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for the information and
Thank you.
about the new handyman service. I think that's great. I think
Yes.
Vincent is going to be a very popular person.
Absolutely. Did we show the pictures?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I
we
thought
did. We did.
Those were the things that as I was talking that he was doing.
Yeah, no, it's all
And
good,
so,
and
good.
they can all find out about the information here.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Thank you, Juanita.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you for having me on.
And remember, you can get all of your handyman information at Community Services on the first floor. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha Na Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
Hi, I'm Brian Rott, President and CEO of Cartmart here in Laguna Woods. My family's been in the golf cart business since 1959, and we win our customers over with the simple belief of we treat you right. We are proud to be the authorized dealer for Club Car here in Orange County and your go-to source for the sales and service to other major brands. We're conveniently located on El Toro Road, just minutes from Laguna Woods. So come by and see for yourself, while when doing business with Cartmart, there's no reason to go anywhere else.
Well, I'd like to welcome right now with me Dr. Andrew Chang. He is with the California Protons Cancer Therapy Center, which is down in La Jolla.
That's correct.
Thank you for coming up here today.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to meet you and to learn about this type of therapy. I know we've learned about it in the past before, basically the same center and some of the great doctors that are still there. You're going to get a little bit more into that, and I think the first thing is, what is it? What is proton therapy, and how does it work for cancer?
I'll be happy to talk about proton therapy. Protons is a form of radiation treatments, and when I think about cancer treatments, we generally think about three main ways of treating cancer.
Okay.
We use surgery to cut out a tumor as much as possible. We use chemotherapy that goes throughout the body to destroy any little small cells there. And we use radiotherapy, kind of focusing an area where a cancer is or was to help clean that area up, sort of mop it up in essence. Proton therapy is a very special form of radiation therapy that allows us to kind of pinpoint the radiation a little bit better than standard radiation, and so allows us to give the treatment with less of a chance of side effects.
Okay, and I think beyond the actual cancer, that's what people fear most, not from the surgery part, of course.
Sure.
But from chemotherapy and radiation therapy, you know, all the different kinds of side effects, the myriad of side effects.
That's correct, yeah.
So how does this, well, I think my next question is, does this work on all cancers, just certain ones that are eligible for this?
Sure, that's a great question as well.
I should also go with that, the size of the cancer. What if it grows? Can you still use this?
That's a great question, or a great set of questions. Certainly proton therapy can be used for any sort of cancer that radiation treats. And so in general, that means any cancer, any solid cancer in the body, we can certainly treat with proton therapy. The most common cancers we've been treating with protons have been brain tumors, as well as cancers in the prostate, which is the most common cancer among men.
Yeah, I've heard of that specifically. Yes.
Exactly. And one of my colleagues will be here later on this year to talk about that, Dr. Rossi. One of the things that we've been doing more recently over the probably past 5 years or so is using proton therapy to treat breast cancer. Okay. Now that's one of the most common cancers of women, of course. Yeah. And yeah, it's a great treatment to help protect the normal tissues.
Now with something like breast cancer and prostate cancer, is that, again, once you identify it, it can go in and be very, very precise. So
that's correct.
You're not basically taking out, or with standard radiation therapy, killing off good cells. You're doing it much more precise. And
much more precise in what we're giving it. But you know, one of the ways I kind of describe it to my patients is if one thinks about standard radiation, kind of like a shotgun that hits everything in the area, proton therapy, you could think about like as a target rifle,
Okay.
right? You could pinpoint where we're giving that radiation a bit better. So if you imagine a piece of paper with a circle drawn on it, use a shotgun, you get some bullets
Yeah.
inside the circle, some bullets outside. With a target rifle, you can get all the bullets inside that circle. And that's what we try to
great
do.
way to say that. Now, this is what's really interesting. It's been around for 60 years?
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
not the misprint here.
That's not a misprint.
Wow.
Yeah, so proton therapy is actually a evolution of a
Okay.
medical research device. The accelerators that were used for heavy physics research in the
Okay.
1930s and 40s. And in 1946, one of these early scientists said, hey, you know what, we can use this for cancer treatment as well. And so the first patients were actually treated in 1954 in California, Berkeley, one of our premier University of California research laboratories. And people said, this is great. It wasn't until the 80s that we actually designed one specifically for medicine and not just physics research, but it's been around for a long time.
And why is it then that people haven't heard about this quite as much?
Yeah.
And why isn't it used more?
Well, these
or this
sensors-
type of radiation therapy, I should say.
Yeah, it's actually something that is starting to come across public awareness more. You know, when we started doing this in the 1990s in a medical facility, that was the only one in the world. And so very few people had access to it.
Okay.
Even 15 years ago when I started doing this, there was only 3 in the country.
Wow.
Well, in the last 5 years, now there's 28. And the next 5 years, there's going to be another 20 or so that are being developed. And so it's starting to reach the level people are hearing about it. It's a great form of treatment, and it's actually been covered by Medicare completely for over 15 years now.
Wow. So is it maybe the cost?
Sure, the cost
not
and time,
only the
yeah.
cost for insurance costs, whoever might be paying, if it's Medicare, that sort of thing, but the equipment, is
Yes.
that more costly? And I've seen in the past the whole room that's in there that the patient lays down on, and so is that part of it as
Yeah.
well, and bringing that cost down?
Definitely, definitely.
Okay.
Building this equipment is quite sophisticated, and so
Yeah.
it's quite expensive. And on top of it, it's probably the most complex device ever made for medical treatments in human history. And so just designing one and building the building and the process of planning it out takes 5 to 10 years just in that process.
Wow. Wow. I would also have to think as well that with the patient coming in, that you know, once you pinpoint where it is, they have to be very still.
Yeah.
And make sure they don't move, because you're pinpointing something now.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So we use a lot of different ways of making sure we help the patient to hold still. We make some devices that help remind the patient to hold still. In essence, a bean bag we suck the air out of, so
Yeah.
it kind of forms to the body,
right.
and other devices such as that.
So how are you folks different down at your center versus, you mentioned there's a few other proton therapy centers.
So the California Protons has the fantastic advantage of being one of the newest proton centers in the world, and as such it utilizes the newest technology in order to deliver that treatment. That, in addition to being able to do precision treatment, allows us to do it quicker as well as to a larger portion of the body. So previously at the centers, one of the things I mentioned is in the last few years we've started treating breast cancer. The previous centers weren't able to treat breast cancer as easily because it was a larger area than the small tumors.
Okay.
Now with the newer proton centers like at California Protons, we can treat the entire breast if necessary for a patient.
What about the patient themselves, as far as they live up here, they go to their primary or specialist, can they say, you know, this is the place that I want to go? How does that, since you know, you're down in San Diego,
Sure.
how does that work out? How do they get their care provider to get you folks on board?
Sure. Well, most cancers treatments require a team of doctors to care for the cancer patient. And generally, if a patient is interested, they could just ask their oncologist, their cancer doctor, and say, can I have my records reviewed by the doctors at California Protons? And the records are sent to us, we review it, and then we tell a patient whether or not they're eligible to come see
Okay.
us. So we're always happy to review. Yesterday, I saw a gentleman from Hawaii that just flew in for his consult.
Oh, wow. Now, along with that, because this is more of a pinpoint therapy, does the patient have to come back every couple weeks, or how does it take longer or the same amount of time to basically go after the cancer to the point where you can say, they're cancer-free, or
Yeah.
you know, we're at the point that you no longer need this.
Yeah, well, fortunately, it's very similar to how standard radiation is
Okay.
done. So it's not a longer period of time. And in some cases, because we are more precise and pinpoint, we can do the treatment in a shorter amount of time than standard radiation therapy.
Okay, so that's good. Now, you mentioned how the patient can ask their physician to send these down. Is that a request somebody, if they make that request, are their physician or their team obligated to do that? Or are they going to go, no, we're better? Or,
Yeah, no, most physician teams are very happy to send records. Well, doctors usually want the best care for their patients. And so if patients have questions, we're always happy to say, you know, come give us a call, contact us, and we'll be happy to facilitate that for the
okay,
patient.
very good. And again, you're down in La Jolla area.
That's correct.
And nice area, by the way. And it's great to have you here.
Well, thank you very much, Ken.
A pleasure to meet you.
It's
And
a
I know
pleasure.
we'll see other doctors.
Yep, and I'll be up myself the next couple of weeks as well.
All right. We'll get him in one of the photos on the website. He's wearing a Spider-Man one because you deal with pediatrics.
I also treat the children, yes.
All right. So next time wear the Spider. There he is. Next time wear the Spider-Man.
I'll be happy to do so.
All right. He's got kind of the theme going.
I got
with
the colors
tie.
going, yeah.
Or maybe Incredibles. I don't know. One of the two. But it looks great. I want to give you the website, very easy, CaliforniaProtons.com. 858-549-7400 is the number. Great folks there, and we're happy to have you here.
Well, thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
I'm coming for you, Cancer. With California Protons, I now have the technology and expertise to fight with unmatched precision. I'll zero in and wear you down with radiation, millimeter by millimeter. You won't weaken me. I'll spare my tissues and protect myself against future threats. Cancer, you're history. I'm looking to the future.
The El Toro Water District Phase 2 Recycled Water Expansion Project has installed over 21,000 feet of recycled water pipelines and is now over 75% complete. The final pipeline installations, as well as installations of service lines and final paving, should be complete by July. The connections of the individual irrigation systems to the new recycled water pipelines should be complete by the end of the year. The district sincerely appreciates your patience as we enhance the water supply resources in the Laguna Woods area.
I started Sterling Financial under the premise that there was a need for integrity in this industry as well as quality service.
There's such volatility in the stock market. One day it could be up 100 points, the next day it could be down 500 points. Well, what we like to do is be able to have people go to bed and wake up the next morning knowing that their money is safe and secure.
That's what we try to do here at Sterling Financial Advisors, is to create peace of mind and quality of life in retirement.
And welcome back. Dan O'Weiler is with me right now from Sterling Financial Advisors.
Very well
Welcome.
color coordinated with your tie and
yes,
shirt.
Thank you. Yeah. Like that going on. I need a spinning one. I have to get one day. So we're talking about some statistics about Social Security.
Well, Social Security is always an interesting subject. In fact, there's been seminars over the last few years talking about how to maximize Social Security until the changes came about a year or two ago in regards to this. And at some point, Social Security is going to have to change the rules or something like that, because it's scheduled to go out, to run out of money in 2034.
Right.
When when Roosevelt first brought in Social Security back in the late 40s to kind of say we don't want to go through another depression, we should always have a safety net. It was never meant to provide, you know, a retirement plan for
Right, yeah.
for everybody.
Mhm.
What it was meant to do is be a safety net for people that were in trouble or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Back then, everybody had pensions too.
That's true.
You know, you'd get a pension. My dad, you know, he grew up. He's 95 years old, and he's still getting his pension.
Oh, wow.
You know, and so
Very good.
he worked for the city of Los Angeles and in the fire department. And back then, everybody got pensions,
Mhm.
and now it's only government workers, teachers, or
Right.
maybe some executives that actually get
Mhm.
pensions. And so, retirement planning has become more dependent upon Social Security because people don't have pensions.
Yeah.
It's interesting that I think some of the statistics said that 56% of all women that are over age 65 depend on Social Security as their prime source of income.
Wow.
So
yeah,
they're going to have to make some changes because when Social Security first started, it was 65. You used to qualify for Social
Mhm.
Security at age 65. Then it moved to age 66. Now it's, if you're born after age 1955, it's now 67.
Yeah.
Okay, so that extension, it's going to keep going and going and going at some point.
And
you
of
know.
course, people are living longer. I think back when this was set up, they weren't thinking, well, like your dad, 30 years of, if your dad was, let's say somebody like your dad, if they were receiving Social
Right.
Security,
Right.
30 years worth of Social Security.
Yeah,
coming
people
in,
are
right?
living longer,
Yeah.
you know, and
Cost of living, I mean,
cost of
everything.
living,
Yeah.
and when we first started, again, the government, the actuaries used 65
Yeah.
as a mortality table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at 65 now, we're just getting started, you know, and
Mhm.
people are still working and things along that line, and so our life expectancy. I think statistics in that report says if someone, a lady lives to age 65, it's projected she would live till age 86, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. If a man lives to age 65, it's projected that he's going to live to age 84. So, you know, 84 years old, that's, you know, 25 years of Social Security
Mhm.
benefits that you're going to receive. Well, they were planning on 5 or 6 years
Right.
of benefit, and so there's a reason we're having problems with Social Security
Yeah.
today.
Some of the things that you sent me here that are interesting, one of them I kind of knew about. Someone making $5 million per year pays the same amount as someone with an annual salary of $127,200.
Yeah,
that's where it's
somebody
capped.
like you know, who's making $5 million a
Yeah.
year, you know. Well, there's a cap on how much Social Security taxes you have to pay.
Right.
And that's $127,200 today.
Yeah.
So somebody that's making $150,000 pays the maximum amount of Social Security.
Mhm.
Well, that's also true for somebody making $5 million.
Yeah.
They're only going to be taxed on the first $127,000
Mhm.
themselves. So somebody that's making $75,000 only pays taxes on the first $75,000.
Okay.
Somebody making $150,000 pays it on $120,000, but benefits will be based upon your income average over that period of time.
Right, right. So maybe that's something that needs to be looked into. At
Yeah.
least maybe taking that cap and extending, even if they doubled that cap to, let's say it was 300.
I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in
would
the
help
future,
greatly.
I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in the future it becomes means tested.
Yeah.
You know, if you have millions of dollars in retirement and you're making a good income,
Mhm.
you don't need the Social Security as much as somebody that
Yeah.
doesn't have a pension, doesn't have much assets.
Mhm.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes mean tested somewhere along the line, which is unfortunate because you and I have paid in all these
Right,
years.
yeah.
But we get penalized because we've done well in our
Yeah.
business activities. You know, so I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's a political issue that
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved with. But
but you make a good point.
You know, I think
Yeah.
that now if they would let us take our Social Security tax and contribute it into a private account and let us build kind of like an IRA, we would probably all be okay with that.
Right, and there's another avenue that maybe
Right.
they would look at in
Right.
the future. is-
Privatizing the taxes, but you're still required to do that. But You know?
Yeah. Now here's something that I was surprised at, and why? Why is it that self-employed workers pay twice as much as salaried employees, twice as much Social Security tax?
Well, like myself,
yeah.
Okay, you work for a corporation here or something, and your salary is taxed at 12.4%, I think the amount is,
yeah.
Okay? The corporation for you pays half of that 12.4%, so you're being taxed on half of it. When I'm self-employed,
I get it, yeah.
I have to pay all of it. Okay, now I get the deductible portion of that as a write-off, but it's still coming out of my pocket, and I have to pay all 12% myself, rather than your employer paying half of it for you.
That makes sense. Now let's talk about, you know, a lot of people saying reducing fraud would help a lot. There's something that you gave me here, at least in 2013, there were over 1,500 deceased Social Security recipients still collecting benefits. Well, when you really look at that, compared to how many people are receiving it, that's a tiny, tiny little bit.
Right.
That's actually pretty darn good.
Right.
You know,
1,500 isn't anything.
No.
You know.
No.
You know. But what they want to do is eliminate any type of internet fraud or somebody filing for dead people or something like that they're trying to eliminate. But that isn't, like, I agree with you, that in and of itself isn't going to save the Social Security Trust Fund.
Right.
There's just not enough. My son did a study here not too long ago in the 1940s when Roosevelt brought Social Security into play. For every Social Security recipient, there were 40 employees supporting that person.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
With the baby boomer generation coming to retire, we know there's 10,000 of them retiring every day over the next decade. That's dropped down to about 3.
Wow.
And so that's the difference in why we're having so much problems, is because so many people are retiring, going on to Social Security. There's only about 3 people for every recipient now paying into the Social Security system, and that's why we're having problems.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something done. You know, when people say get a seminar invitation, come learn how to maximize your Social Security benefits. That used to be when you could, quote, file and defer so your spouse could get it and everything. They've kind of tightened up those loopholes.
Okay.
And so a lot of the, there's a window there where you could do that, but they've tightened up those loopholes so the spouse who has never worked can't get the Social Security until the other spouse that did work claims for it. So there's a lot of things that you can do, and Social Security does play an important part. You know, I had a couple in yesterday that are planning on getting, between the two of them, you know, $50,000 a year in Social Security. He's going to wait till age 70, you know, to maximize, and she gets half of his. So they're going to have a nice Social Security you know, foundation. But, you know, you've got to wait till age 70 to do that.
Yeah.
You know, people always ask me, when is the maximum time to, or when's the optimum time to collect Social Security? And I always say, well, tell me when you're going to die. I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know.
Yeah, because what you sent me here is about 60% file for early Social Security, and yet only 10% wait till the maximum, which is age 7. Well, technically the maximum is
66 or 67
but waiting
right now.
to get a little more, 8% a year, wait till 70.
Yeah, you have 60% of the people that say, hey, I'm not sure Social Security is going to be around. I'm going to take it while I can. Okay.
Yeah.
While the other 10% only, you know, I'm getting 8% additional benefit every year. Sometimes I have people come in and say, hey, I'm going to take my Social Security and wait on taking distributions from my IRA because I'm taxed on that.
Yeah.
Well, they're better off taking distributions from their IRA and letting their Social Security compound at 8% every year.
Yeah.
If they can. It all this is the planning process we go through with them, Ken.
Yeah.
And it's
different for everyone.
It's different for everyone. It's not. I've had plans where we actually recommended that people take it at age 62.
Yeah.
and and sometimes they've already been taking it. So it's a planning process that we're able to sit down with people and say, let us do some calculations, and we'll, based upon your situation, tell you what we recommend doing.
Yeah.
So
very good.
So there's a lot of information. You know, the taxation of Social Security. They said that would never be taxed. You know, when Roosevelt said that we'll never tax your Social Security. Well, the problem is the politicians died that made that promise.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Well, if you'd like to sit down with Dan and kind of just get a free consult with them, they'd love to have you come up there in Mission Viejo, and especially when it comes to Social Security, if you're right there and maybe you haven't taken it yet, you're kind of figuring out what's best.
The income planning is critical.
Yeah.
That's what pays the bills.
Yeah.
I don't care how much assets you have. You could have $2 million of vacant land.
Yeah.
But if it's not generating income to you, you could be in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, so the income planning is very critical, and that's what we try to help satisfy with people as they enter retirement.
All right, very good.
Good to see you.
Take care.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
SterlingFA.com is the website. We'll be right back.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow Options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Well, hello, folks. Once again, we are out here in the beautiful Laguna Canyon. It's been, maybe 2 or 3 years since we've come out here to speak to the folks who run this facility and enjoy the beautiful nature out here. I am with Hallie Jones. Now, she's the executive director of the Laguna Canyon Foundation. Good to see you again.
Great to see you. Thanks so much for spending the time out here.
Oh, we love it, and we're so fortunate to come out here on such a beautiful day. And this is so close to the community here. It's really a treasure. First, tell me an overview of Laguna Canyon Foundation. What do you folks do?
Sure. So we were founded in 1990 with one goal, which was to acquire open space and make sure that it was going to be protected in perpetuity for all of us to benefit from. Our mission has really changed over the last 10 years to more one of education and stewardship. So working on the land itself, making sure that the trails are maintained, the habitat is restored, and people start to learn a little bit more about how special this open space is, the incredible wildlife we have out here, and learn what an important role each of us play in protecting it.
And fortunately, right here where we're standing is the Nix Nature Center. And tell us about that. When did that get built?
Absolutely. So the Nix Nature Center was named after James and Rosemary Nix, who were residents of Laguna Woods, wonderful supporters of the open space and of this facility in particular. It was built, I think it was open to the public in 2007, and it really is a wonderful gateway into the open space. It's very accessible to people of all different abilities. You can come out here, just spend some time seeing the incredible open space. You can go for some easy hikes if you'd like, or something a little bit more challenging if you're interested.
Yeah, even though there's some very easy hikes right around here, which are very nice, people forget that this goes all the way down close to the beach area, so people can go up on the bluffs and all and really take some extensive hikes if that's what they want.
Absolutely. We have over 42 miles of trails, and there's 22,000 acres of open space in this area, which is incredible for coastal Southern California. There's not really an area like this anywhere else in the region. It does extend all the way into Crystal Cove State Park, so you can stand on the bluffs and look at the ocean. You can go all the way from these mountains inland and spend the whole day out here.
So who actually operates this facility? We're close proximity to Laguna Beach. You mentioned Crystal Cove, which of course is Corona del Mar, Newport area. Is it you folks? Is it the Orange County Parks? Is it the cities?
So Laguna Canyon Foundation really is a support organization for OC Parks. So Orange County Parks operates this facility, the Nix Nature Center, and much of this contiguous open space. Laguna Canyon Foundation exists to make their jobs easier. So we support the rangers with whatever they need help with, just kind of give them that extra bit of help, whether it's through maintaining trails or just being out, another set of eyes and ears out in the open space.
And then the funding, of course, goes to what we're standing on here and the building and maintaining. And what's really important is the educational centers, right?
Absolutely. So we have a Title I schools program education program, which actually brings kids from underprivileged neighborhoods, largely in Santa Ana, out into the open space to start to understand a little bit more that this wilderness exists as a resource for all of us. We also have public education. So we have free guided hikes, birding hikes, geology hikes, native plant hikes, for people just to come out and learn a little bit more about our wilderness.
Yeah, we just saw a group here just a few minutes ago. Now, I also understand you are down the road, you're going to be building, or in the process of opening soon, a new administration building that may have some resources there as well, right?
Absolutely. We're so thrilled about this stage in Laguna Canyon Foundation's history. For the first time, we're actually building our own headquarters in the open space, right off of Phillips Street in Laguna Beach. It's a 3-acre parcel on 100 acres of zoned open space right next to Aliso and Wood Canyons Wilderness Park. So it's going to have a native plant garden, an interpretive trail, as well as, headquarters for our restoration work and our trail work and all those good things.
And I would assume that if somebody has the ability to, they could start here and end up down there, right, in a hike?
Absolutely. It's a little tricky crossing Laguna Canyon Road. So if you can figure out the way to do that safely and legally, you're fine crossing the street. We definitely recommend that people stay within one side or the other of Laguna Canyon Road. So either on the Laguna Coast side, where we are right now, or over on the Aliso and Wood side, which is just across the road.
Yeah, that's a very good tip. Now, as far as your hours here, are you open every day, year-round?
So the parks themselves are open 365 days a year, with the exception of rain days. We do close for rain. They're open generally from about 8 a.m. till about sunset. Now the Nix Nature Center has more limited hours. So the Nix Nature Center is open 9 to 5, Monday through Sunday.
All right, what's the website? If people want to go on and figure out how they can take part in this or maybe help out, Laguna Canyon Foundation, just Google that and we'll find it?
Absolutely. Our website is lagunacanyon.org, and I also always recommend that people spend some time on ocparks.com as well, which is a wonderful website.
All right, Hallie, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to come out here. And folks, this is just right in your backyard, so it's a very easy drive to get here. And especially if you come during the week, there's usually plenty of parking. There might be a lot of school groups out here, but that shouldn't be a problem if you want to come here and visit. And great times of the year, of course, the spring and the fall. I heard the spring flowers were just beautiful. And you can come out here and take a very easy walk, not even really a hike if you want. If you want something more, the hills are all behind me here. You can spend as much time as you want. And maybe you'll meet Hallie, and maybe you'll end up helping with the Laguna Canyon Foundation. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much.
This is Howie Burger Brew and Q. Pick a town. Arrive hungry, real hungry. Start with a massive burger. Charred, juicy. Add bacon, a buttery bun, piled high. Serve it up, wash it down. Creamy, hoppy, fruity, malty. We're not done yet. Q-time, deep fried, sauce soaked, pork ribs, meaty, tender. I'm full. Where to next?
All new Burgers Brew and Q. Tuesday at 9. Cooking Channel. Stay fired up.
Well, our movie today is a very different one, sort of Western. It actually takes place in 1892. It's called Hostiles, and it tells the story of a legendary Army captain, played by Christian Bale, who after stern resistance reluctantly agrees to escort a dying Cheyenne war chief and his family back to their original tribal lands, making the harrowing journey from Fort Behringer, an isolated Army outpost in New Mexico, to the grasslands of Montana. The former rivals encounter a young widow whose family was murdered on the plains. Together they must join forces to overcome the punishing landscape and hostile Comanches and vicious outliners that they encounter along the way. Beautiful scenery. This is got a lot of violence in it, but a very different movie and very, very well made. Most of this was filmed in New Mexico, and just gorgeous scenery, as you can see there. So it's kind of nice to have a Western on, sort of a Western, and it certainly looks at a moment of our history, and especially this movie sort of changes the heart of Christian Bale in this as he joins forces with them. Really good movie. That is today at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. It's rated R mainly for violent situations and language. Now, on Monday, Game Night, a different movie as well. Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams star in this. And it's about this couple's weekly game night that gets kicked up a notch when Max's charismatic brother Brooks arranges a murder mystery party complete with fake thugs and a faux federal agents who step in. So when the Brooks girlfriends gets kidnapped for real, it's all part of the game, right? Well, we'll find out in this movie. And this one's rated R as well, again, mainly for language. And it's sort of a mystery, sort of a comedy, a little bit of everything, sort of a thriller, all kind of moved together in this one movie. I haven't seen this one. I'm looking forward to it. Game night will be on Monday at 2 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. Now, our local weather cooling off, starting a nice cooling trend today. We're going to be in the mid to maybe upper 70s today, a little more fog coming in, and a chance, not in this area, we will see probably some elevated humidity coming in, but possibly in the outlying areas, the mountains, and some of the desert communities could get thunderstorms over the next couple days. That's because the remnants of Hurricane Bud that was off the coast of Mexico and is bringing moisture up through primarily the southwest where they get the monsoons in Arizona and New Mexico this time of the year. Very normal, but it moves in for us with some humidity and possible thunderstorms in the mountains and deserts. All right, you folks have a very good weekend. There you go. Weekend weather around California, going to be cooler. And enjoy the cooler weather this weekend. Maybe go down to the Del Mar Fair. I think we're going down there tomorrow. Just beautiful. Love that fair right on the coast. As far as Monday goes, we're going to get an update from Third and Breastlink and Dr. Trin. We'll see you then. Bye.